Since he first began looking through a lens, Darryl Hawk has always observed life differently.
Early on, I knew right away that my greatest love in life, besides my family, of course, was photography. I just fell in love with the camera at a very young age. I love the whole idea of preserving time through prints and images.
Over the last 35 years, Hawk's passion has turned into a profession. As a documentary photographer, his focus is capturing and preserving images of people, places, and cultures so that future generations can get lost in time.
An important thing that I've learned is that wherever I go, and no matter what country I'm in, I'm bringing back a piece of that culture that's embedded in my soul. There's no question about it.
Here we are in Da Village at the most western part of Ladakh.
It's a career that has led him on worldwide expeditions, living in some of the most isolated places on the globe, weeks at a time.
One of the keys to me in doing these very in-depth documentaries around the world is immersing yourself in the culture. That is extremely important. The more immersed you are, I believe, the better the job you're going to do.
His adventures landed him a membership into the Explorers Club, an exclusive group of individuals who contribute to furthering scientific exploration, the likes of which include astronaut Buzz Aldrin and Jane Goodall. In 2004, Hawk set out for what he describes as the most important expedition of his career. Hawk became one of the first Americans to traverse from the western point of Bhutan to the east, a Himalayan kingdom seemingly lost in time. Bhutan is saddled in between India and Tibet on the eastern edge of the Himalayas. He was bestowed with the club's highest honor, carrying its flag on his journey.
Hey, this flag has been to the moon and to the bottom of the ocean and many other places. So it's a very important tradition at the Explorers Club to bring the flag. In other words, you're furthering the cause of exploration. That's what the flag is all about.
Word of his voyage garnered the attention of the royal family of Bhutan, who then sponsored his trip, providing access unlike had been seen before, even being invited to the king's birthday party.
I felt very privileged because I was the only outsider there, and it was heads of state were there from other countries who go to this king celebration every year. And most of all, what I remember is the music and the dancing.
Hawk quickly traded in his dancing shoes for hiking boots.
We're about seven kilometers away from the very top of the world here.
With only a driver accompanying him, they navigated treacherous roads to reach a Himalayan summit.
Well, we're at the top now. Quite a long path.
You know, when I was on the highest road in the world, there was a real probability that there would have been rock slides or even an avalanche to prevent us from getting over that pass at 18,640 feet. But, you know, I told the driver, I said, look, if we don't make it, don't worry, it's not the end of the world. Going back to my theme, that it's the journey that counts.
In 2016, Hawk then became one of the first Americans to circumnavigate Cuba. Starting in the western part of the country, Hawk made his way through Havana and Baracoa, where Columbus once landed. That quest taking 3 weeks. Hawk is also ready to pass along his tips on how to get the most out of traveling, offering a workshop and guided tours called the Unconventional Traveler.
The process is you pick and choose places you want to go. You start getting the best map you can, planning the itinerary. Then you have to start working up a pack list. You have to set your dates on when you can get away safely for 3 or 4 weeks.
With all of the miles and adventures he's logged, no journey changed Hawk's life quite like the one he took to Hopkinton, New Hampshire to attend the Hopkinton Fair. That's where at the cotton candy stand, he locked eyes for a split second with his now wife, Heidi.
she disappeared for a while. Then I found her again later on near the stage where the bands play. It was the Shaw Brothers. We remember very well the Shaw Brothers were playing. And I just decided, I better go up and talk to her. Otherwise, I'll probably lose her and never see her again.
One thing led to another, and after having a drink at a restaurant in Henniker,
we kept in touch, and before we knew it, we were seriously dating, and we got engaged, and then we got married within 2 years after that.
the two settled down in Connecticut for the next few decades. But in 2020, the Hawks decided they were ready for a change of scenery, somewhere more disconnected from the hustle and bustle. Daryl's father had operated a summer camp in Hillsborough when he was young, and the Granite State always felt like a second home, while Heidi grew up in Massachusetts. Their New England roots led them to Lancaster, New Hampshire.
We just realized, that we wanted to get up into the great outdoors. We love being outside. We love hiking. We love sitting around the campfire at night. We love snowshoeing, cross-country skiing, everything that this White Mountain area has to offer. So we just decided to make the plunge.
The pandemic made it difficult for Hawk to crisscross the globe. Instead, he's turned his keen eye to landscapes close by.
And this is a message that I always like to give, is that you don't really have to get on a plane and go to faraway places to get great photographs. They can quite often be right in your own backyard.
From waterfalls to lakes and ponds, Hawk has collected countless images of New Hampshire's natural beauty, and he's ready to share them in his book, Mountains Beyond Mountains, set to be published in May.